I've got weekly goals that I set out for myself. This week, I am in a self-improvement community, and basically what we do is we set out weekly goals for the week, and one of my weekly goals is to film 7 YouTube videos. So 1 video every single day, which means I've got to film for the entire day and then post it at the end of the day. So this might be relatively challenging. However, this is going to be video number 1. And I wanted to start the video by going over the weekly goals that I have set for myself for the week with some of the other guys that are in the community. And I've been in this community for about a month, and it's been amazing. It's been super rewarding. I've enjoyed it thus far because, just like you guys probably know if you're watching this type of content, there's not a lot of people out there that are trying to genuinely improve themselves, right? Most people don't really fucking care. They're just kind of going through the motions, of life. And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's the life you want to live your life. However, I gravitate more towards people who are, wanting to grow. And I run a relatively successful real estate business that generates a good bit of money for myself, and it's afforded me a really awesome lifestyle at, just 25 years old. But I want to be around other people that want to grow. And it's hard to find those people. It's very difficult to find those people. So I've kind of resorted to going to like an online community to find those people. And there's guys there from like all over the world, which is pretty awesome. There's some guys from different spots of the United States. There's obviously guys in different countries, Belgium, Netherlands, like all this stuff. And we had an amazing community call this morning. There was a guy in there. A lot of them are like tailoring towards like YouTube channels and social media and trying to, find ways to generate money online, which I think is super cool. That's something I've always wanted to do as well. And they, have definitely inspired me. There's a guy in there that, he's generated in 1 month $1,500, in income from a YouTube channel. And it's like an AI, faceless YouTube channel kind of thing, which that's not necessarily my forte. I don't know anything about that. But nonetheless, to see somebody like that, who there was no money, right? There was nothing. There was no money. There was no business. Create a channel, and then shortly after 30 days later, be able to generate $1,500 like out of thin air is so inspiring to me. It's so awesome. So he shared a lot of insights this morning. It was really awesome to meet that guy. But anyways, going to go over my 3 goals here that I've got. And, my goals, by the way, are more so tailored towards me. So if you're in a different spot, then maybe your goals will look a little bit different, or maybe you're working on other things that I'm working on. I feel like my goals right now are very geared towards like mental health. I did a lot of reflection in the last week, and I kind of found out that, when I prioritize my mental health and I prioritize my overall happiness, I perform much better within my business. And, it makes me more successful. Like, I'm a pretty positive, like, uplifting person. Like, I'm, usually happy on a day-to-day basis. But sometimes that's not always easy. When you got a lot of stress and you run a business, there's a lot of stuff going on all at once. So this week, I've kind of decided to prioritize my mental health. So these are my 3 main goals for this week that I'm hoping that you guys hold me accountable to, as well as some of the guys within the, community that I'm working and hold me accountable to. Goal number 1 is going to be to take at least 1 hour of the day to be alone without my phone and try to prioritize my mental health. I can go on a walk, I can garden, I can sit in silence, I can journal, I can choose to do whatever I want as long as it doesn't involve technology, but I don't have to do anything. So I don't have to do anything. This isn't some sort of like productivity thing. I need to blah, 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 journal for 1 hour. I can do whatever I want. I just have to do it without technology. So whatever I'm kind of feeling, whatever I'm like in the mood for, whether it's I want to go on a walk and clear my head, whether I want to garden a little bit, that's something that I did this last week. I haven't gardened in like 8 or 9 months, and I did a little bit of gardening, and I was like, damn, this like really is nice for my mental health. You know what I mean? So plant some beautiful plants. We'll go out there, water them. Everybody's different. That's just kind of the thing that I like doing. Like even when I was a kid, in like middle school and high school, I used to always go to the backyard of my childhood home, and I would like plant pumpkins and stuff. And the pumpkins never grew, but like I would love to see, because if you've never dealt with pumpkins before, they are super fast growing. So when you plant a pumpkin, within like a week, it just starts growing and going crazy. So I would love to see that like growth, the quick growth. So I did that this week, or actually I did that this last week, and it felt good. It felt really good. It felt very I don't know. It just felt good. It felt good for my mental health. So that's why I included the gardening on here, because I might do a little bit more gardening this week. So 1 hour, no technology, focusing on my mental health, doing whatever it is that I feel like doing at that time. Journaling, sitting in silence, gardening, going on a walk, etc. It just can't involve technology. My second goal for the week is I'm going to keep a calendar journal and basically log everything that I do on a day-to-day basis. That way I can look back at my daily list of activities and then I can make changes accordingly. So I run a real estate business. It's a lot of putting out fires, a lot of running around and doing a bunch of different, crazy things. So what I want to do is I want to basically log my entire day. That way I can go back and look at it and then make critiques. So if I notice, hey, there was 3 1-hour blocks where I did something that, maybe I can outsource to my assistant and it took 3 hours of my time last week. Maybe for next week what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2-3 hours and I'm going to make a training guide for my assistant, and then she's going to start doing that, which then frees up my 3 hours in the future. So it's just about being critical of my time and being able to analyze all those things and make changes accordingly. I'm also going to, with that daily log, kind of try to log my happiness and my mood, like how I'm feeling on a day-to-day basis. So for example, if Monday and Tuesday I woke up and I didn't use my phone, and the first thing I did was I went on a walk, and during that 2-hour morning routine time block, I had an 8 or a 9 on my mood chart, on my happiness scale, if you will, then I now know that, hey, maybe I should wake up and not use my phone. Right? Maybe the days that I used my phone and I hopped on Instagram and started doom scrolling, maybe those days my mood was a 4 or a 5. So it's just about being intentional with my time and making sure that I'm doing the things that are going to make me happy and increase my mood, and then decrease the things that aren't going to, make me happy, or the things that consistently stress me out. And then maybe allocating those things to my assistant or figuring out a way to eliminate that from my business. That way I can just increase my overall mood and happiness. So those are 2. And then goal number 3, of course, is to make these YouTube videos. 7 days of filming. I'm just going to rock with it. This is my daily goal, is I'm just going to basically knock out those 3 main goals and then see how everything goes. So yeah. Today's going to be video number 1. Right now I'm going to head to the gym and I'm going to take you guys along, but we're converting to iPhone for that footage. I'm not to the level of confidence of walking around with a big ass camera on a tripod yet. I'm not there, but soon, you never know. Before we go hit the gym, I'm about to have this Kodiak Peak oatmeal. It's got 20 grams of protein. I've actually never had this before. I've had like the normal Kodiak oatmeal, but never the Peak oatmeal. I think this has just a little bit more protein, maybe like 7 or 8 grams more protein. But I'm going to go ahead and make this really quick, and it'll give me some carbs before I go hit my workout for today. How many minutes is this bad boy? 60 seconds. Well, I actually just converted my guest room into an office, so I've got this random ass mattress in my living room, which is pretty awesome. So it's just Mikasa's bed. This is my cat Mikasa. She requires a full human-sized queen bed because she's a queen. Are you trying to scratch me? What, are you crazy? Hey guys, subscribe to my dad's YouTube channel. Subscribe, everybody. Subscribe. We've got our oatmeal right here, protein oatmeal. I'm getting some quick carbohydrates before we go hit our workout. It's honestly really good. Now, whether or not this is actually healthy, because it's probably loaded with a bunch of bullshit, more than likely, but 20 grams of protein is 20 grams of protein. My damn cat just jumped up on the table. Mikasa, get out of here. She's literally sniffing the camera right now. You can't see her. Bruh. Hey, I'm trying to make a YouTube channel, right? The better this YouTube channel does, the more likely you'll get upgraded kitty kibble. You want a little protein? She's trying to take my protein. No. Excuse you. Excuse you. Thank you. Alright, nice. Okay. Ma'am. Ma'am. I'm trying to make a YouTube video. Ma'am. Some people. Rude. My low-key bicep. It only looks good from this angle. When I go like this, it's like, oh, small arm. But when I, look at that, when I kind of manipulate the camera angle, shit looks fucking juicy. She's wondering how I do all my YouTube production. She's behind the camera on all my vlogs, so she was just making sure that our angle was good. Oh, we have another cat. Oh, hi, welcome. Welcome to the channel. This is just honestly, it's just a cat YouTube channel. I've also got myself some electrolytes here, which I'm about to pour in some water and get myself hydrated. So, speaking of gardens, this is what we're working with right here. I'm just in a little townhouse, but nonetheless, this is a new one that I planted recently. That was an old one that I rehomed. Then I've got these ones that I planted. Of course, we've got Mr. Money Gnome in there to bring us some good luck for our business. All this was already here. I planted all these, and these ones are just now starting to bloom. That's a new one that I put in there. He maybe doesn't have enough room, but I kind of like the way that it looks in that corner. Of course, we have this lion. You know, I just love being a douchebag. These ones, believe it or not, I had one of these plants last year and it died, but I guess it left little seeds because I did not plant this, or this. They all just came back. So I decided to let them live. I'm not a huge fan of that like dark purple and yellow color scheme. It's like a little crazy. Now, this big thing right here might look like a big weed, but it's actually not. It used to be full bloom, but it only lasts for like 2 weeks. But the whole thing was filled with really beautiful purple flowers. I've got this hydrangea that my girlfriend's mom gave me. I didn't water it for a little bit, so there are some parts that are dying that I have to trim back, but along the back side it's got a lot of new growth, really nice blooms. That's a new one that I just planted, which I really like. And then I've got this one here, which this one's not doing too good. I don't know if maybe it's supposed to have this happen to it, because obviously these big beautiful flowers are just going to deteriorate slowly over time. Looks like maybe there's some new blooms coming there, but I don't know. That one's doing a little bit rough. It looks like it's got like a disease or something. I'm just not too sure. But that's a little garden tour for you. So we got a lot of avenues with this YouTube channel here. I can go cat YouTube channel thus far. I can go with garden YouTube channel. I can go with guy who talks in a camera about his goals. Got a lot of avenues here to pursue this thing, folks. Comment below the direction of the YouTube channel you think I should go. Today we're going to go ahead and hit a chest and back workout for you. Last week I was kind of all over the place in terms of my consistency with the gym. I would even go to say that last week was kind of like a deload week. Like I worked out once and it was like a 30 to 45 minute workout and I only worked out back. Now, that was one of the best workouts I think I've had in a long time, but it was the only real strength training workout I did last week, other than like one little cardio session, which was genuinely just as a punishment for me failing my goals the week prior with the self-improvement group that I'm in. Because what we do is we'll set weekly goals, hold each other accountable, and then if you fail your goals, you have some sort of punishment that you have to do. So a lot of the times it's something related to like running, or for me, I hate running and I also hate the Stairmaster, so we did Stairmaster. So yeah, that's kind of what we're rocking with right now. I should probably not hold this camera and vlog simultaneously. I would assume that is some sort of misdemeanor crime, much like texting and driving. I think that might even be worse. Damn, sorry, I saw a little... Fuck. So we just made it to the gym. I'm gonna go ahead and have my pre-workout here. I just used the Rise Blue Raspberry Ring Pop. And honestly, if you don't take pre-workout, you're low-key missing out. I might die when I'm like 45. But, nah, realistically, no. I'll probably only like shave like 5 years off my life taking this pre-workout, realistically. So maybe instead of dying at 85, I die at 80. You know, boo-hoo. But I think the pre-workout, it makes such a difference for me, and, you know, how intense I am during my workouts. It's like ridiculous. I don't know if it's the beta-alanine itching the fuck out of my body. Like, My earlobes itch really bad when I'm on beta-alanine. My ears, inside my eyeball itches. Like, I don't know what it is about that just makes me want to lift weights, rigorously. But whatever it is, keep doing it. Pre-workout companies, you're doing a great job. It's phenomenal. It's really great stuff. You're doing good. I might, again, slowly be killing myself. But without a doubt, it's some good stuff. I get a good pump, good workout overall. So I highly recommend, check out my sponsor. No, there's no sponsor code. But maybe one day, honestly. Maybe one day. That'd be cool. Check out the sponsor. Who would my sponsor be if I actually had a sponsor? Check out my sponsor. What the hell am I doing with my life?
Comps. Everything within a 1 mile radius that is somewhat similar has no photos.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but...
How many houses pulled up?
8.
And not one of them has photos?
There's ones that have photos, but I wouldn't really consider them a comp. They're like 30, 40 grand over the amount this one is.
Do they look a lot nicer?
Yeah.
Okay, then that is a comp. It's just a high comp.
Yeah,
so
lower it.
Yeah, exactly. So like if you find something that's less, then you increase it based on the subject property. If you find something, that's more, then you say, hey, this one's priced, at $220, it's priced pretty good because this one here is $270 and that's about X amount of money worth of work. Like you just hedge it in the opposite direction.
Okay, I see.
You know what I mean? Like you get some that are higher and some that are lower, and then you try to work that angle. But if there's going to be a lot of competition and the buyers need to go over list price to get the property, then try to find some of those sky high comps that are 280, 285, maybe something like that, or 30, 40 grand over, like 265, 270, and say, look guys, I know you're going to have to offer 230 to get this house, but once you guys put the cosmetic work into it, you can add that value, and your home could be worth that 270 mark like this other one, because they're not going to be able to win it more than likely at list price.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to show them what they need to do to win.
Okay. Solar panels. If they went to buy it, I'd get wrapped up in the loan, and if they ever went to sell, they'd have to sell it for $30K over list, right?
Yeah, the solar panel thing's interesting because I think that they're all getting a little bit confused. I don't think that you can wrap up the solar panel into the value of the loan. The bank isn't going to go, all right, this house is worth $220, but it's got a $30,000 pair of solar panels on it. Sure, home's worth $250 now. That's not how it works. You know what I mean? So I'm not too sure what's going on with all that solar panel stuff. I'd have to sit and look at the disclosures.
Okay.
So I'll take a look at that stuff when I get home. All right.
Okay. I'll run some more comps. Then once you get here, if you have time, can we knock some of that stuff out? I'll probably be busy the rest of the day, unfortunately, so I can't really play too many games. I might squeeze in one round or two, but
it's up to you, dude. All right, buddy. I'll see you when I get back.
Love you.
Love you. Bye. My younger brother right there. He's working on a real estate deal right now. Today's Sunday. Sunday's kind of the day that a lot of people like to take off, and there's nothing wrong with taking off on Sundays. If you got to take it off for your mental health, then I fully support that. But the thing to keep in mind is there's a lot of guys that don't take off Sundays. There's a lot of guys that they, don't just work 8 hours a day. They work 12 hours a day. And the reality is, if you're running a business and those guys are also running a business and it's in the same field as you, you're competing with them. There's guys out there that'll work evenings. There's guys out there that'll work weekends. There's guys that'll wake up at 4 a.m. to wake up and literally kick your ass in business. So remember that, right? Remember that. Oh, I want to, get in a couple rounds of video games. There's nothing wrong with that. Do what you need to do to protect your mental health, right? But at the same time, there's a balance between that, and I think that in the early years when you're young, that's the time to grind. That's the time to put in maximum effort when you don't have a wife, when you don't have kids, when you don't have any of those type of commitments. Because the last thing you want to do is be a guy who is married and has children and then dedicates all your time to your business. So why not do it now when you don't have any of those things? Why not put up the video games when you're 20, 25? Why not, put up the Netflix and all the other bullshit and focus on growth? There's so much that you can do in this world. And when I hop on social media and YouTube and I see all these guys that are fucking killing it in life and they don't have to settle for anything, I think to myself, those guys are no different than me. I could do the same exact thing. And chances are, if you're watching this video, you could do the same exact thing too. There's nothing limiting you but the mindset of, oh, I want to play some video games, and oh, I want to, watch Netflix, and oh, I want to do this, blah, blah, blah. I'm not telling you that that's necessarily a bad thing, but what I am telling you is there's some guys that don't need that little stuff, and they're going to fucking dominate you. Genuinely. So you're competing against those guys, and I just so happen to be one of those guys. So that's what I'm saying. You got to kind of eliminate a lot of that stuff, eliminate those distractions. That's how I've been able to be so successful in a short amount of time. I've been working at real estate for 5 years, and I've been able to build up this level of success. I have no college degree. I have none of that stuff, and I have a lot of, quote unquote materialistic backing to back where I'm at, which of course that's not everything, but it is a tangible measure of success, at least financially. And I have all those things because I've worked so much harder than the majority of people. And that doesn't mean I'm smarter than everybody, more so means that I put in more time and more effort. And when other people, are coming home after an 8-hour day and they're like, okay, let me watch Netflix and let me, chill and let me play some video games, let me do this, I'm still fucking grinding, dude. I wake up and grind from wake up until sundown. And every now and then I'll sprinkle in quality time with my girlfriend where I'll be present and I won't do that stuff. But apart from hanging out with my girlfriend a few times a week, dude, I'm fucking grinding because I know where I want to get. My little TED Talk for you guys. Thanks for tuning into my TED Talk. Just a little bit of a kind of like a physique update for what I'm looking at right now. I got a fat pimple on my chest, but that's kind of what I'm looking at. My chest is really developed. My shoulders are really developed. My biceps, not so much. Definitely need to work on my biceps. My abs are pretty alright. I don't know what body fat percentage I'm at, but I'm like 165 pounds in the morning usually, between like 164, 166 right now. Trying to bulk up to 170, which isn't that far away. But yeah, this is kind of physique-wise what I'm looking like. I look like a mid-physique Casper the Ghost. It's kind of the vibe I got going right now. We're all dressed, ready to rock. I got my new polos in for my company. However, I know you guys can probably already see. Do you see how you can actually see the logo patch? I wish that these would have gotten QC'd before getting shipped to me, because I bought 4 of them as a sample size, but I don't like that you can see the patch there, but I love the style of it. So I definitely like the all white. It looks really crisp. My company, it's called Veterans Choice Home Group. So we're a real estate team that helps a lot of military members PCS in and out of the base, all that fun stuff. So we got the blue, the red. We've also got like a steel dark gray with the house logo in there. And I just got new signs. Take a look at these. Got these new signs in, which I'm super stoked about. Man, those look so freaking good. And then each agent on our team is going to have their own little sign writer underneath that'll have their direct number as well as their headshot. But our main sign writers, we went ahead, the big VC Veterans Choice. I'm so happy with how this came out, and I'm so proud for this next chapter within my business. I've really been working on this stuff, and it's super cool to start to see a lot of my, dreams and aspirations and all that stuff and my ideas actually start to come together and come into reality. So this is something I am super freaking proud of. Drop a like for your boy, I appreciate you guys watching the video if you're watching it thus far, because it's been a long one. And yeah, I'm just so excited for the future, for everything. So, like I said, it's Sunday. I've got I already gave you a little glimpse of what I'm doing. some team leader activities right now. One of the agents on my team, who just so happens to be my younger brother, he's got a deal that he's getting ready to write an offer, so I'm going to basically hop in there, assist him with running some comps, assist him with kind of going through a solar panel lease, since this property specifically is being conveyed with a solar panel, and then kind of give him my advice and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and call him up here, have him come into the home office. Me and him live together. So that's a nice little, 1-2 punch on that side of things.